Well, good morning. Well, that was quite the weather storm that we had coming back into Alberta. And of course, I couldn't sleep this morning. So my wife is safe and sound at home again, and got the little bit of wanderlust, but a real question came into mind. We had 2013 floods in our area, and before that happened, we had some wonderful ponds that were wheelchair and walker accessible, and a lot of people fished that were able-bodied, but you got wives, you got husbands that had stuff happen. Life happens, and it doesn't mean that you don't want to be together, and it doesn't mean that you don't want to still actually follow your passions and go fishing, go for a walk in the woods and all that kind of stuff. So I decided I'm going to do a little investigation to see how well our areas have recovered, and how our government has put money and time back into the resources that were built, money spent, and that were enjoyed by so many from our largest city close to us, Calgary, as well as the surrounding areas, like anybody within, say, 50 to 100 kilometers around Calgary would come out and enjoy it, because further you go east, the flatter it gets. So like, we're on the edge of the Rocky Mountains here, so a lot of people from east of us definitely come out to recreate out into the forest over here. So got me curious, and maybe I can throw in the same kind of lure system that I was using in Nelson. I was using a little weight fly with bobber and an extendable rod, and let's see what can be done. If there's any fish to be had, maybe the fisheries decided it's not worth restocking, it's not worth tending to these spots. Who knows? And just because we had a similar kind of event yesterday with the snow and the second day of summer, I just wanted to get out into the mountains and see what exactly is going on, and what the water situation is doing. So enough said, I'm gonna get on the road, and we'll catch up to you down the way, and I'll join up with you and explain where I am on the first destination point, and we'll go from there. We'll see what we find. Catch up to you soon. Look at these boys. Just had to stop along the way. It rained and it snowed, and everybody left with a fresh salad. I know I'm talking too much. Awesome. Yeah, had to stop for that. Nice mule deer bucks in the velvet. Sweet. my first stop. So this is McLean Creek public land use. And just a note, sometimes there's wild horses actually in this area. But this is a full recreational use where you can use quads on designated trails and 4x4ing and so on. Beautiful campground. But they've got a fishing pond. So let's go visit their fishing pond. It's a little bit off the highway, maybe a kilometer. We'll see what's up here. Well, made it. Got my fishing vest, life preserver, and an extendable fishing rod. And this is the fly that I was using at Cottonwood Lake out in BC. Now I've sterilized my bobber because it gets filled with water and you wouldn't want to transport or contaminate any other body of water. So this has all been bleached and sterilized and so on. But the point is accessibility, and I'm at McLean Creek Pond. I've been here several times over my lifetime and things like that, and I remember what it was. And let's see if I can notice any changes and things like that. I just took a little walk down to the end of the parking lot here. So we have some facilities and some garbage containers and so on, because we are in black bear and grizzly bear country. We're just nestled into the foothills of the Rocky Mountains west of Calgary. But you just flip this baby around here. So they've got some instructions, and once again you still have to have the Kananaskis Pass to stop in Kananaskis nowadays. But just some respectful notes from Alberta Parks, and yeah. So they don't mention anything about wheelchair accessible or not, but I know what the capabilities are of a walker or a wheelchair. So out of this parking loop, there's only one really good entrance. Everything else is like a footpath that's very narrow. But yeah, let's flip barring. We just came out of a storm here, but this is the accessibility, which I think my wife's walker should be able to get down and around. And it's not a very far walk. I think it would be, maybe 50, 75 meters out to the edge of the pond. I believe doable. So this pond, it's not a bad size, but it's also stream fed. So due to having the snow, which was just crazy for this time of year, but it does occasionally happen. We are in Canada, of course, so you know, I've witnessed it one year. It snowed every month through the whole year. And sometimes it's blistering hot, plus 30, even bordering on very rare occasions to plus 40 degrees Celsius. And you guys can do the conversion if you need Fahrenheit. But anyway, so not bad. Fairly flat ground. There's a little bit of a trail here to come down to the edge of the pond, which I believe would be well. Yeah, the water's up. You might see it's either cowbirds or, yeah, it's a cowbird. Muddy. Wow. Oh, maybe something just jumped right there. Yeah, I'm just gonna watch it for a few minutes here. Don't see any puddle ducks at the moment, but this would be a nice place to have my wife sit. Or if you are going to be fishing yourself and need fairly level and access to the pond and want to either pull up your wheelchair or anything, I think this is doable. I definitely have somebody along with you. Might be kind of tricky getting back up off of the bank here, and the water is really high. As you can tell, there's grass that's submerged, so you could probably get down a little bit further, but as of today, not a very good day for the clearness of the water. Oh, there's a puddle duck. What kind of duck are you? Maybe a coot. Let's see if I can get in closer. Where'd you go? Oh, they blend in so well. Looks like something, a minnow or something. Or, well, there's also some swallows having their morning look around. There's the inlet at the far end there. And the outlet would be down there. There was two gentlemen that came to this side, and it looks like they switched sides. So as you can see, there's also some picnic benches, and you could stop on the road, but you'd have to go over a guardrail. And I doubt my wife would be able to do something like that. But you never know. Maybe I could always pick her up and carry her over the guardrail down there and get her onto the flat ground, onto the grassy shoreline. And then accessibility over there, well, for me, that's fine. That should be relegated to sitting up on top there. So, don't think it's worth my time stopping at this place for said fish. And but it is stocked, and I believe it doesn't freeze over winter, or at least it doesn't go winter kill because of the flow through of the water. It keeps it aerated and so on. So have I had success here? Yes, I have. You know, this place gets hit hard at the best of times by people from Calgary, but it's definitely doable to come home with a few pan fryers anyway. Nothing too terribly large. Maybe Fish and Wildlife or the hatcheries possibly stock it with some bigger fish. They do have a few size limits or sizes that they breed, and they release. You know, I think the common release is between 6 to 8 inches long, but they do say release, and I don't know the number. I read it during my training and things like that, going through the courses that were provided so that I can become a teacher of hunter education. This is a pond that there's no size limit. It's in the default regulations, and it's a pond or a lake, but it's not listed on the ES1 special regulations. So know your regulations, have your fishing license, of course, and follow the rules. You know, that's the way that you stay out of trouble, and it's also nice to have a pleasant chat with law enforcement as opposed to possibly losing all of your gear and substantial fines that go with poaching or going against regulations. So know your regulations. A lot of beautiful information in there. If you take the course for fishing, it's free as of now. It might be mandatory. They're thinking about it, doing a mandatory course for fishing. So ethics, regulations, habitat, identification of different species, and also key notes about the different species and what temperatures of water that they like, and what lakes do for turnover of levels of water and different temperatures, and peak feeding temperatures and things like that. So it's actually a really decent course. I did it twice just to say, hey, you know, this is awesome, and this course is really packed full of useful information. Oh, and I spy with my little eye my wife's favorite bird. So I'm going to take a break here and set up my spotting scope and see if I can't get this blue heron on video. Cheers. There we go. See him in the grass? Looks like he's just about ready to hunt. Now, if you didn't see my last video, or second last video of us being up in the mountains, we saw a blue heron actually catch something. So this guy looks like he's about to strike. At least he's moving closer to something. Must be deep water. Seems like he's in up to his belly. Beautiful birds. Looks like there's a fish right behind them too. All the patience in the world for breakfast. Well, I hope he's successful. Or she. Few little minnows jumping around behind. I don't have a very far striking ability, so I have to move closer and closer, ever so slightly, blending in with the sky. That's what the gray plumage would do for them. Anything looking up, it would just be kind of dismissed as a gray cloudy sky. No doubt a little odd looking sky, but needless to say, each animal has their own speciality for camouflage, for hunting, and this guy is a master of stealth and patience and stillness. There's some fish jumping over there. You know, with the high water, there's different flies and things like that that are hatching off of the grass and so on. So at certain times, the fish like to come in really close to the banks and enjoy nibbling on the delectable treats that fall off of the grass and into the water. Still on the hunt, still moving closer. Oh, there we go. Tasty. Don't know what he caught, but looks like he might have got something. Majestic birds they are, though. The wingspan is quite incredible as well. But we're on a little bit of a mission today, so let's continue on the journey and see what we can find for accessible fishing areas so that the whole family can enjoy themselves. Awesome. Well, that was fun. That almost makes the video worth it. Like my wife says, all I get to see is them flying away from me. So there we go. So here's picnic opportunities, little campfire opportunities. McLean Creek. I would say I'd give it a rating of about maybe 6 on the scale of accessibility for people that are not exactly, you know, able to move quite so well. There's a pretty decent trail here too. Just right there. I don't think that's where I came in. A little bit longer, that's for sure. Looks like it's maybe coming over from down the road by the like a hiking trail from the store to over here. But yeah, really cool. So, like I said, know your regulations, and let's see what else we can find down the road here in Kananaskis country. Highway 66, and this empties out onto the Powder Face Trail, and I know there's no ponds along the Powder Face Trail. Definitely a really cool place to go for a drive though, and that would be the backside of what's called Moose Mountain, which in the middle of October we actually have the bald eagles and golden eagles migrating on the thermals of the warm air, and they tend to do like spirals and get elevation, and they tend to hunt all the way down south to their warmer climates that they would like to frequent while we're in the deep freeze. So definitely enjoyable. Good spotting scope or a good pair of binoculars is really handy to have, and some viewing opportunities for all, either accessible by car or by hiking. But today's about fishing and getting some people that don't normally get that chance to go and join their families and have a little fun. Just wanted to come over. See you soon. On this side there's a placard here, and let's see what's going on with it. McLean Creek Pond, which is built in 1983, is looks like they got rainbow trout in here, and this is the creek system. Just a general map of the area and where camping is, and yeah, off-road vehicle accessible, and trail systems that have been developed, and fishing opportunities for the enthusiasts. So, that being said, there's the entrance to the McLean Creek off-road vehicle access, and I believe there's one west of us as well. But not bad to get down here. Obviously, they have cattle in the area at times, free-ranging cattle, so they have to have the fences to keep the cattle out of the pond and all that kind of stuff. But it would take a little bit of doing. Oh, there's a snipe, or one of those shorebirds that likes to poke their long nose into the sand. And you got a red-winged blackbird. Noisy. I think this is maybe called a killdeer. Oh. Making a lot of racket. And the benches. Well, like I said, the water's come up quite substantially because of the rain and the snowfall that we've had, but I'd say this is doable for my wife to get out here, or a walker accessible, maybe wheelchair with some help. There's somebody that's going with their bike to have some fun today. Right, this is the other side of the lake, so there's some nice accesses down to the lake straight across from me as well. I was over on that point over there, but that's pretty cool. Nice little bay in there. Yeah, nice facility. Would even be better if there was maybe a dock, or maybe some kind of, yeah, some like single docks that would go out into the water. You can get a little further away from shore. That costs money though. If nobody has looked into it, or if you have looked into it, you'll know that the Kananaskis Pass is $95 for the year, subject to change, knowing governments and so on. So that's what is supposedly to pay for keeping areas like this clean, and the revenues from camping and things like that. Just maintain park benches and picnic tables, and pick up your trash if you're going to come out here. Don't leave it for somebody else to pick up. That's why that pass was introduced. Too many people littering. So anyways, we'll catch up to you at our next destination, which I believe used to be Allenville Ponds. And we'll see what happened with the flood situation, and if they've restored the pond or not, and we'll go from there. Cheers. Well, here's some wild horses. Speaking of which, as I was entering, awesome. Not to be approached. These are unbranded horses, and yeah. beware, they are wild. And yeah, they've been around people a bit. We've had the campers and things like that view them and so on, but these guys don't belong to anybody, and you should not get close. They're not domesticated, but still beautiful to see, and that still happens. Still somewhat of the wild, wild west. Cheers.